People who are 25Y and above, what's the harshest life lesson you've learned? If your employer is doing something illegal or unethical and you decide to confront them about it, for fuck's sake, do it in a way that all communication will leave a paper trail. That life can take a loved one at any time, so cherish those you love, make time for family and friends, and tell people you love them often. Shit can go south in a literal heartbeat. You can't make someone love you by giving them more of what they already don't appreciate. Still chewing on this one? You can do everything right and still fail. No one is going to save you. You have to save yourself. Your health can evaporate quickly. Your friends from high school or college will disappear if you don't make the effort to stay in touch. Do not lie to your significant other. Have hard conversations and trust them enough to be able to have them with you. Give them the chance and don't be afraid/avoid doing it in fear of rejection or judgment. I learned that one the hard way, unfortunately. You have to speak up for yourself. No one else will. Sometimes if you risk it to get the biscuit, you don't get the biscuit and actually you destroy your life. Sometimes the problem is you. By the time you hit 30, all the small things you've gotten away with that everyone bugged you about starts catching up to you. Bad posture, welcome back and neck pain. Smoking, welcome a strong cough. Never stretch, welcome tightness. Bad diet, welcome various health issues. You always feel invincible when you're young. 30s where you realize you were wrong. This is for the people pleasers like myself. You can bend over backwards for everyone, be a doormat, make it your life goal to avoid confrontation, and you're still going to end up being the supervillain in someone's story by the time you hit 30. You're writing your own story. Set your boundaries and realize no girl/guy, vice, or amount of money is worth compromising them. Checking all the boxes required to be successful does not mean you will actually be successful. I should have tried harder in college and worked with a goal in mind. It looks like other people are blessed with motivation and self-discipline and make stuff happen. If you sit and around long enough, the angel of self-discipline will flow to you and bless you with the desire to do healthy, productive stuff that will benefit you in the short, mid, long term. False. You have to get off your couch and do what you don't feel like doing right now. That's the lesson I had to learn. You can be really happy one moment, and then super sad in the next. It's important to appreciate each of these things for what they are. You won't be happy forever, you won't be sad forever. Hoping and wishing doesn't make things change. Making different decisions and working hard does. I'm 35 and the harshest lesson I learned is that life sucks sometimes. You think you have everything figured out, but then something bad happens and throws your whole plan off track. It's important to be flexible and not take things for granted, cause shit can hit the fan real quick, yo. Don't drive when you are sleepy. I feel asleep driving after working night shift. I was in a coma for 2 weeks and partially paralyzed. After 4 months in the hospital, I was medically retired from the US Army. Before the accident, I was in great shape and I was running about 10 miles per day training for a race. I have not been able to run since the accident. Lesson: don't drive when you are sleepy, you could die or hurt someone else. There will be people who just don't like you, who might even detest you. And you will never find out why. They might have even been people you considered friends just yesterday. Take care of your fucking teeth. Nobody told me that fillings eventually have to be replaced and you'll be paying for that cavity again in 10 years, and then again after another 10 years, and so on. Edit. This is not the harshest life lesson I've ever learned, but it is potentially the most expensive. You're going to have regrets. Things you didn't do as well as you could have. Things you didn't earn. Things you did that you didn't mean to do. Things you didn't do that you wanted to do. Don't waste the present dwelling on the past. Use the regrets as lessons to change your decisions. Growing up in the 90s and listening to a lot of rap, I was under the impression that being a thug and getting into trouble a lot was cool, so my suburban ass, along with all my friends, emulated that lifestyle. When I was 20, one of us got murdered. Suddenly it wasn't so cool anymore. There are some truly fucked up people that live and breathe to fuck over other people. Living life costs so much money. Doing business with family. I got burned nearly every single time and I've had to cut almost everyone out of my life. Most of the people I thought weren't motivated by money have stolen from me. So now I don't really trust people, which kind of sucks. But it's probably a good lesson. Life doesn't really start until your 30s. Everything before is still the tutorial. People don't really attract like-minded people. If you're a normal person, you think along the lines of the golden rule. But I'll tell you this, there's gonna be someone you consider to be a friend who's going to not only disappoint you, they're going to hurt you, and they're not even going to value your friendship enough that they care to rectify that. Hell, they might even enjoy it. Many people in leadership positions are anything but leaders. Do not stay in one job for more than a few years unless you are being promoted appropriately and given raises appropriately. Just because your friends are your friends doesn't mean that your work ethic/values line up. Friends can still screw you over without doing so intentionally. Heavily abridged TL:DR lived with 3 best buddies from high school for several years, who were all older than me. They screwed me on rent and utilities for years because they didn't want to be responsible. I am out thousands having kept us warm and not homeless. I'd have to say that you can't keep everyone happy. At some point, you have to let down/upset/anger someone. It's not quite harsh, but, well, it can be. Stubbornness means a lot more than innate talent. No one thinks about you as much as you think. Recognize where you're putting your effort. Not every situation is a "if I just keep pressing forward then someday all my hard work will be rewarded" situation. Sometimes when it's over you realize you didn't get anything. You can have a loving family, great friends, and financial security but still feel isolated and empty. It doesn't matter how much you think you know them. You don't know them. When money is involved, friendships and family turn different. Also in this world you are holding a ladder to build someone's dream or climbing one that people are handling.